Alright guys, I'm here at the movie theaters. We're gonna go check out Kraven the Hunter and see how it goes. I got my lovely wife. Where'd she go? Oh. Is she? Yeah. She's doing it for the plot, guys. Yeah.
There's a man going round taking names.
My son, we are hunters, the greatest the world has ever known.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Movie Madness. And me and my wife did finish going to see Kraven the Hunter, and this is going to be just my honest spoiler-free review on the movie. Now, the big question is this movie worth watching? Did Sony kind of redeem itself, being that this will be the last Sony Spider-Man spin-off movie? And in a way, it is worth watching just simply because the acting is really good. The acting is phenomenal. Aaron Taylor Johnson does do well playing a younger Kraven, kind of coming into that persona that we all know from the comics. In regards, what really sets this story apart is that, or what I should say is what really brings this story down is that just the execution. My wife even mentioned it too, and my wife's not as critical with movies as I am, but she did mention, like, it's just, she felt like the execution of how the story unfolds could have been done better. Now, is this movie worse than Morbius or Madam Web? No, not at all. I would definitely put this movie above those two, 100% for sure. But yeah, there's moments in this movie where it could have been a flashback instead of a whole, like, drawn out 20-30 minutes in the movie. And just the timing basically is what kind of throws this movie off quite a bit as you watch it. Of course, we get some backstory on Kraven, his brother Dimitri, who in the comics is actually the chameleon, which they do kind of pay that off a bit throughout the movie, and especially towards the end of the movie as well. Their ruthless father, who tries to groom them to be strong and show no weakness. We do get introduced to Calypso, which in the comics is a love interest to Kraven, and in this movie they don't necessarily go that route as in like an obvious love interest, but it is implied that they are connected. And then let's see, we also get Rhino, who is one of our villains, and then we get our other villain in the story, which I wasn't sure who he was, just how the story was playing out, but it turned out to be the Foreigner. He's from the Spider-Man comics as well, basically an assassin who knows all kinds of martial arts, but then has this power to like hypnotize you when he stares at you in your eyes, and like he makes it seem like he can move faster than he can, but you have to see the movie just to see what I'm talking about. His character was definitely a little strange to me. I didn't really understand, like, again, I didn't get who he was at first, and then he had his motivations, but it just wasn't like like, oh, this is an evil villain kind of thing. Like, it wasn't that feel to it at all. So again, Sony could have did a bit better on that one, in my opinion. As I mentioned before, the action in this one is pretty dang awesome. I mean, like, it is a rated R movie, so for all you parents out there, please don't take your kids to this just because it's a superhero movie. It is rated R. There is a reason for that. If you've seen it in a bunch of the trailers, it's just a lot of gruesome death scenes, and a lot, like, the way they do it is very creative and very intense. And I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed all those parts of it. The action sequences were good. The jokes were pretty funny. There were some that didn't fall on didn't really hit really well, but in a way, like this movie, like I said, there are parts where it felt like it was a little rushed in certain moments, and other parts that were extended way too long. And I think Sony was just kind of like, either they were over it and they were just trying to get it out and done with, because I know they said that we're going to stop making spin-offs now and concentrate on Spider-Man content, or they were worried about people not liking it, so they were trying to like re-edit and do this, and you can see that throughout this movie. And I feel like if they would have just, you know, went with their original ideas and just took their time and just did the stuff how they want it, then this movie would have probably been a lot better. There are parts from the trailers that weren't in the movies, which that bummed me out, because there were some parts in the trailer I was really looking forward to seeing in this movie. But what, you know, what can you do? Overall, like I said, this movie is not horrible. It's not the worst movie ever made. It's not worse than Morbius or Madam Web. It's definitely worth a watch. I would probably say you can get away with watching it when it comes on home video, for sure. You don't have to necessarily pay the movie ticket price if you don't want to. But it is a good watch. It is entertaining, I guess is a good way of putting it. Now, for this movie, I am definitely going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said, action was solid, acting was solid. There's just certain points where it felt like it was too rushed or too extended for unnecessary amount of time. There is plenty of Easter eggs for a lot of like the Spider-Man lore, a lot of New York mentions, a lot of Secret Doctor mentions in New York, and how some of these other characters, you know, fit into this like Spider-Man spinoff, which you could tell that Sony was trying to do, give us plenty of Easter eggs, and they did do that. They could have did a little better, but like I said, this movie is not terrible. It's not as bad as a lot of these comments and everything are putting it out to be. So in my opinion, I would definitely recommend you just go see it for yourself and form your own opinion. And yeah, so that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I will see you guys on the next one.